Hey, we're doing a podcast now. What's up?
Nothing.
Yeah, welcome to Who Knows. Are you, what are your feelings of right now?
I don't know. I'm kind of unsure. I don't think I'm nervous.
I think you are nervous.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I guess so.
So I told you before the show that when I had Mom on,
yep.
You need to listen to that, by the way. It was very wild.
Will do.
But when I had Mom on, I started with obviously you're my mom and you know about my life before even I know. Mm-hmm. And that's weirdly important to me to know about that stuff.
Okay.
So I want give me the rundown of little Brendan.
So I feel like
As my older brother of 6 years, for those that don't know.
So I feel like my memory of then is bad. I don't remember a lot. I feel like I remember specific things, but it's usually triggered by a picture or something like that where that will bring things back. Otherwise, I feel like my memory of when I was young is pretty poor. I don't know why.
I agree. I was actually just talking to him about that a while ago.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I remember a lot of, me and you, playing with trading cards down with the kids down the street. And that's because I was a little bit older. I think my memory is, better from that time.
Yeah.
And I remember a lot about that. I definitely remember when I was getting older, I remember, Dad telling me that you were always looking up to me. I remember that specifically because it just was probably everyday type of thing. Anytime something bad happened, Dad was like, your brother's looking at you.
Really?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would never hear that.
I really remember that we looked so much alike when we were really young. Yes. And then it's funny because as we get older, I feel like it's less and less now.
When I lost a bunch of weight, more than one person was like, dude, you look exactly like your brother.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It was you look like your brother now.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a really great, I just remember you being really short. Your voice was really high pitched.
Yeah.
Mom gave you really bad haircuts.
Yes.
And, you were always chumming with Mary because you guys were so close in age, what I mean? So when you guys were really young, you guys were just always together. It wasn't until the boy-girl thing, people became aware of
When did we move into the same room?
I don't know. I think it was right around then where, or when my age group was figuring, I don't know, I was probably in second, third grade where Mom and Dad decided that you guys shouldn't share a room any longer.
I think it was more Mary needs her own room.
Right.
She can't be with a boy.
Right. Yeah.
That was.
But I remember you sharing a room with me. Now that you bring that up, I remember you when I would game all night long.
Oh my
you
God.
would hang over the top bunk bed above me, staring.
Hanging out. I was like, bro, this is sick. I love this. This dude's playing on a computer just like this.
Yeah. Right.
World of Warcraft, just killing it. And I'm like, dude, get that. Come on.
Yeah. So,
wow.
And then I remember we hung out a lot later because I was always grounded. So I would hang out a lot with you when I was grounded. I couldn't leave the house.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, like you said, if you keep bringing things up, it comes back. But other than that, I mean, there's not super vivid stuff that sticks out to me. I remember those orange pajamas that you had. I don't know. That's one of the things.
I do not remember
blaze
those.
Orange onesie Brennan had. Yeah, I remember that.
Like a
stuff
hunter.
like that. But that's from pictures. We have those pictures of all of us where you're holding the thing that says cheese puff.
Yes, me and Mary in the bed. Yeah.
So yeah, that's really where all those memories, come from.
That is wild. Well, you have just recently started your shoe flipping endeavors. Mm-hmm. Can you? I mean, we talked about this for what, 2 hours?
Oh yeah, I can go 1 million miles a minute for a couple hours on this. Yeah.
So, what is it exactly that you're doing? So it's like Jordans. Is it exclusive to Jordans?
No. So just sneakers in general. Jordans tend to be more exclusive and sought after. I think the whole exclusivity of shoes started with Jordans and has been going much longer than any other shoe. So I think, it's more prevalent with Jordans, but not just Jordans. I mean, Yeezys are Adidas. So those are obviously super hype shoes. There are other.
But you're not like exclusive to. Are there flippers that are exclusive to one brand?
No, that would just be. I mean, the tools are the same for all brands, so it wouldn't make any. You know what I mean? For you to just count yourself out of.
What about like the site bots?
So
can you explain what a bot is?
Yeah. So a sneaker bot is software that is created to check shoes out faster than a human could. And the reason that they were created is because, like we were saying, Jordans and certain other shoes are limited release, and some of them started to become very limited release. So when they're very limited release, obviously, two things happen. Less people can get them, and they're worth a lot of money. So, there were shoes that were dropped today that retailed for $100, and they're selling for $400. So, some people that had sneaker bots in the correct setup and whatnot, if you could check out 20 pairs of these shoes, I mean, you could do the math.
Right.
There's a lot of money in it. So yeah, I don't know. And this really started like 2 years ago, a year ago. Do you remember when I was saying that I was going to do restores? Yeah.
You bought the whole kit.
Right. So I have an affinity for sneakers in general, and I think sneaker culture like really fascinates me.
Yeah.
I think it's this like underground, like awesome thing, and like the community, and keep in mind, I'm just getting into all of this. I'm not an expert by any means, but the sneaker community is just so crazy where like everyone so wants to help each other, and we just all have a similar passion for this, and it's just a really cool thing I feel like to be a part of.
Wow.
And also, I mean, the rush of copping super exclusive shoes with your bot that you spent a bunch of money on, your setup that you risked a bunch of money on, and then for it to happen is so cool. And the adrenaline when you're, when your bot is saying check out, and it's just like dollar signs. So it's pretty cool.
So, and you get just a notification on your phone, hey, this is dropping.
So I'm part of a cook group. A cook group is a group of people that use Slack or Discord. A lot of them use Discord. And it's so most of them have a membership, and you just pay for the information. And then the people that run these groups have all the information about the drops, the early links. They have what are called monitors, and that's like specific Discord channels hooked up to robots that monitor the stock of certain shoes on certain sites. So as I'm sitting at my computer every couple hours or so, I'll just get notifications that certain rare shoes just restocked somewhere, and then I can go click a link in that Discord channel, and it will create tasks in my bot and buy them automatically.
So it's just automatic.
I mean, for restocks, I feel like be it unfortunate or not, however you feel about it, people don't really have a chance to manual cop that stuff anymore.
And that's all online? There's no in-person?
No, yeah, absolutely. There's a huge in-person part of it. So I'm just a one-man show right now. I don't really have anybody that I feel like is really about it to have them go do that. I definitely need somebody else because, unfortunately, the drops happen online and in-store on the same days and the same morning. So if I had another person, I could definitely have them drive around to every Foot Locker, Champs, East Bay, whatever the case is around here, and buy up everything that they could.
And that's just, do they have a limit on how many you can buy in store?
Yeah, I believe most stores are 2 pairs. But, a big thing with this is, like, the people you know what I mean? If you know somebody that works at a Champs and you can tell them, hey, I'll duke you $50 to
True.
pull 5 pairs from me.
Yeah.
Who that works at Champs is not going to take you up on that, you know what I mean? You just got to be close enough with them.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just I don't know, it's pretty crazy. I've heard of a lot of people that have had a legitimate Nike license to distribute Nike and Jordan shoes and not letting go of releases on release day intentionally to try to resell them.
Yeah.
Getting their license taken away. I guess Nike is insanely strict.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't just hold on to the shoes?
No. Well, I mean, because they're literally, I mean, most shoes, let's say a regular Jordan release, a couple of days later will be worth probably $25 to $50 more than they retailed for. And then probably 6 months to a year later will go up probably $100 from there. I mean, that's a super general numbers, but I mean, it tends to follow the same pattern, it seems.
What have you looked into how, like, Nike, like, how they decide to do limited, like, how does any of that work? They're literally controlling the economy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they know how many pairs of X amount of, how many pairs of shoes people want, and they release less than that. And that's how they create the hype around what they have. And I mean, look at what it does for them now. Now, instead of one specific shoe that everyone loves, sells out, now everything they have sells out because the hype around it. I mean, think about it. I might not even want shoes that I'm buying. I might think they're the ugliest shoe around, but if they're hype and there's, money to be made with it, then I'm going to buy them.
Quick flip.
Yeah. And with sites like GOAT and StockX, there's no trying to sell your shoes. I mean, if you want to sell your shoes, you go to the site and say, hey, sell. And they say what they're selling, what they're going to give you for it right now.
Damn.
Yeah.
How long have you been, when did you start looking into this? Like as...
Way back when I, probably about a year and a half ago. I was like super into this. I was working at Verizon. I literally so hated my job so bad and was trying to figure out anything I could do to make some money. And I said I was going to do restores. There's a couple of people on Instagram that do restores. Shout out Rally Restores. Check them out on Instagram.
Yeah, big shout out.
Super helpful to me. But yeah, they will breathe new life into your old J's. I mean, obviously there's shoes that get all beat up, but these guys will make your shoes look like new.
Yeah,
and it's pretty incredible, like the wait time to get your shoes restored by him now because it's so popular. So obviously he's doing well for himself, and I just thought, hey, I can do that. Then that led me to looking into this bot, and I didn't have the money at the time, so I just forgot about it. But there are people on my cook group that don't have bots. They'll try to manual everything. They'll use the information that we have. I mean, I obviously have a huge upper hand on people that don't have that information, But it's just, I don't know. I don't think their money's being well spent.
That Restores guy, he's in Chicago, or you ship him? No,
Rally Restores, Rally, North Carolina. Yeah.
And you just ship him your shoes?
Yeah. And I believe... I'm not 100% sure. I believe he'll do customs. If not, then there are, posts on his page of customs artists that you can go to.
Damn.
But yeah, custom shoes is becoming a pretty big thing now.
Like, so remember your shoes you told me the other day that they were like, hey, these were worth a little bit of money at one point. You could send those to him?
Yeah. But
how much would he charge?
So I can do that stuff. That's like that's part of what would be doing. So ideally, and again, this is in its infancy. Ideally, I would like to own a store where you can buy exclusive sneakers. You can sell your exclusive sneakers on consignment. We'll restore your sneakers. I
mean, I think the model was proven from, like you said, trading cards. Remember Don's Card Shop?
Right.
Why couldn't you do that with sneakers?
Right. Yeah. And so there are a lot of like.
Oh my God, Don's Card Shop. Jesus.
Yeah,
was that dude ripping us all off?
I don't know. I was trying to think the other day because actually there's a channel on my cook group that's the sneaker buying groups Discord channel about cards that are worth money and what cards to buy, and one of the card packs was these cards that came with jersey pieces.
I remember that. You had a ton of them in the bats, in the wood pieces of wood.
So I was trying to think to myself if Don ever offered to buy any cards from me, and I think he did.
I think he did to me when I was like 8. Yeah. He's like, "Hey, son, I'll give you 5 nickels for that." You're like, "Okay."
Yeah, right.
You can get a whole nother pack for just that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know.
I never knew. Like growing up, I was like, that dude might have just been ripping everyone off because it was like no one over the age of 16 in there.
Right. But you know what? That's not true because old guys would come in with like nice stuff.
Yeah,
sometimes,
like baseball.
Yeah, he would do like, it seemed like he would do like big deals on like autograph stuff and things like that. But yeah, I mean the clientele in the shop was.
Oh my
6th
God!
grade.
What were we playing in there? Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I believe. I mean, everything was played in there. I remember that there was some Magic being played in there. Yu-Gi-Oh was when you guys were there.
No,
He didn't care. He just wanted people in the store buying cards.
Right. He was like, yeah, you can play.
Right.
Can I have some Cheetos? Yeah. But I was thinking the other day, do you remember the Beyblade things that we got? Those things were the shit. We were obsessed with these things. For those that don't know what we're talking about, they're like these tops.
Like battle tops.
Battle tops.
Yeah.
And I remember we got them in Disney. Do you remember this?
No, I don't remember that.
We got them in Disney, and we got like the thing, and we were in the hotel room just like ripping Beyblades all night.
That's awesome. Beyblades.
That was when I got a discipline slip from Martyrs.
Yeah, dude. This guy.
Yeah, I actually don't know if the world.
In trouble
I don't know if the world knows the story. The podcast
got
world.
In trouble at school, and he didn't tell our parents. We go on vacation to Disney World. He literally waits until the day before we have to come home.
Yeah. No, it was like
it was in the middle of the vacation. That's even more bonehead.
Yeah.
In the middle of the vacation is just like, oh yeah, mom and dad, I got in a ton of trouble at school.
My mom found.
I sent a slip home.
She found the envelope in my folder.
Oh, okay.
I was doing homework in Disney, and mom was like, "What's this?" And I'm like,
But called a girl a lesbian. Before he knew what that was.
I had no idea what a lesbian was. No clue.
Had no idea.
Yeah, well, a kid we were growing up with, he was like, hey, Brendan, those girls are lesbians. And I'm like, hey, did you hear? They're lesbians. And like, I'll never forget.
That's so great.
Oh my God. The girl I told, I didn't even like tell, I wasn't like making fun of him. It was just like, hey, did you hear?
Right.
To this other girl. And immediately she goes, raises her fucking hand. I'm like,
that's not cool, man.
I just went and did it, didn't I?
Right. Oh,
my teacher, do you know what that means? I'm like, no.
How'd they get in trouble? How'd you get in trouble? Like, why are you in trouble for that?
Can you?
Oh, yeah. If you don't know what that means, why do you get in trouble?
No, yeah. That was honestly kind of bullshit. But also, I was just petrified of getting, like, a discipline slip.
Yeah.
Was not a big deal.
Right. Some kids got
I was just like,
frequently.
I was the kid that cried when I got a discipline slip.
Yeah, I forged one. I think the only one I ever got, I forged it. For chewing gum. I was like, yeah, Dad's not going for that.
There was one.
I'm going to have to write his name here.
Yeah, right. Try my hand at cursive for the first time. For real. What was I just gonna say? I forget. But yeah, that was our Disney trip.
That was a good time.
I still have, the only thing I have from that trip is like I have a Buzz Lightyear pin.
I was gonna say,
like,
remember that lanyard of pins? That was like the thing before festival pins came around. It was Disney pins.
Are festival pins, pins a thing?
Yeah, dude. So it's just kind of similar to sneakers.
No way.
Yes, some of these pins are worth just crazy amounts of money. Just pins, just like those, but they're, I don't know.
From like Bonnaroo 2013?
Yes, exactly. Yes. And you trade them and you...
Dude, I think when I went to Bonnaroo, I think I like threw that shit out.
Oh, yeah, dude. No, those are Wook things. You need those
to, Wook things?
Properly Wook out.
What's a Wook?
A Wook?
Yeah.
Is like somebody that travels with music festivals and is like a straight hippie and like, just lives out in the wilderness.
Oh, okay. A Wook. Oh my God. Yeah. What festivals have you been to? You've been to...
No, dude, I'm pretty limited in festival attendance. Lollapalooza. That might be it. Yeah.
Didn't you get lost coming home from Lollapalooza?
Oh, boy. Yeah, so...
Is this a no story? We asked Matt before the podcast, like, is there anything off him? He's like, no, there's nothing we can't talk about.
I mean, yeah, I guess we could talk about this. Do our parents listen to this podcast?
I don't know.
Right.
So, I mean...
Well, So, so I was
at your own discretion.
Yeah, right. I was at a music festival, Lollapalooza, and I was with a bunch of my friends. So I'm trying to recall. I believe we stayed over at one of my friends' houses for the night, and she lives like smack middle downtown. It was a condo, not a house.
Blue Nipple, right?
Yeah.
Love how I had that part stored
that's
away.
so funny. Yeah. So we wake up in the morning, and she was just like, hey, do you guys want to take these mushrooms? And I was like, yeah, I guess, whatever. So we just like had partied all fucking weekend. I don't know why we had to continue, but that was the plan. So this is the day after Lolla, mind you. Lollapalooza's over. It's Monday.
Okay.
So she's like, okay, well, I'm going to call downstairs and get a pizza. There's like a super fancy pizza place downstairs. I didn't know this at the time, right? And she was just like, oh, let's go downstairs and eat the pizza. We can just like do this low key. And I'm like, okay. So we go downstairs. Now, mind you, I am in a like multicolored tie-dye shirt. And I have Blaze Orange Brother Rice basketball shoes on with like these Nikes that are just orange and green and white and yellow, just super, super loud.
Yeah.
Right? And I just look like I go to Catholic school, but I would be a hippie if they would let me.
Right, sure.
That's like the look I'm rocking. So we go down to this pizza place, and we walk in, and oh my God. I mean, these people are like in tuxedos, like, where would you like to sit, ma'am? And I could tell that they know this girl that we're with, And I was like, oh, whoa, this is so weird. So we go in there, and like literally everyone is fancy. It's we're on like Lakeshore Drive or something like. I don't know exactly where we're at, but it's super fancy. We sit down. She orders pizzas. The pizzas come, and this girl lifts the cheese off of the pizzas and throws handfuls of mushrooms on the pizza.
Oh my God.
In this like fancy, like, I was just like, what is happening? Okay, whatever. I get my couple slices of pizza, we're doing our thing. And it's like me and two of her friends from Syracuse, and because she went to Syracuse, two of her friends from Syracuse were with us, and another friend of hers that lives in Chicago that she used to go to Syracuse with. So we eat our pizzas, then she wants to go, we go into Millennium Park. So we're just chilling in Millennium Park, and like, it's cool. We're sitting in the grass, waiting for everything to
that closer.
Yeah. Waiting for the things to start working, and all of a sudden they do, and we're having a good time. It's a lot of fun.
Portobello's, right?
These guys, yeah, right. These guys that are with us are super fun. They're super cool guys. I like wasn't sure if I'd like them, whatever.
Right, sure.
But yeah, so we're having a really good time. It starts to get a little intense, and May's phone rings. So she picks her phone up, and and she was like, what? And I could just see her face is just drops. So it turns out the guy that drove, I couldn't believe he drove, but he drove from Syracuse. The guy that drove from Syracuse had been parked in the building engineer's spot all weekend long throughout Lollapalooza, and like they hadn't been answering their phone for this lady, the building manager. So she said, get up here now and move this car. Well, obviously that was like bad.
Yeah.
So we're like going up there, and I'm like, oh boy. But I don't really know what to expect. I just know May is tripping. She is tripping.
Rightfully
hard.
so.
She is so freaked out.
Yeah.
And then her brother called her on the way up there, like, hey, what the hell? They're trying to fine mom and dad like a couple $100. Like, you got to get up here and fix this. So we go up there, and I can tell the one guy that she invited up there was like kind of concerned because she was, and then the other guy, this guy Max, was just, it's all good, guys. Don't worry. This is okay. Everything's gonna be all right. And I was just like I don't know who to believe at this point, so I'm just along for the ride. So we go up to this car, and the lady is standing there, and she's just yelling at us. Well, I mean, I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
and May now is crying so hard, just standing there crying, I'm sorry,
and all she had to do was move her car.
Yeah. So
oh no,
Max is like, no worries, give me the keys, I'm moving the car.
Did they know?
No, I don't think. No, definitely not. So we all get in we were in 2 different cars. I don't know why. I don't think we could all fit in the one car, but they were like, let's drive to the gas station. It was just a bad decision because, we didn't know what to do at that point. So we all get in cars and we're going to the gas station. So we get in the cars, we go to the gas station. I have mad anxiety the whole way there. Like someone's going to crash their car right now, but no. So we get there and I go to the other end. Mind you, like, I'm not friends with anybody but the girl whose place we stayed at this point. Like, I know these guys. We've been at a festival together all weekend and they're cool, but I don't know them,
Right.
So, like, we get to the gas station and I go over to May and, like, hey, are you okay? And she's just, you can tell she's just been bawling since we left the place. It's probably been 15 minutes.
Oh,
now.
my God.
And I was like, okay. This is really bad vibes for me right now. I can't handle this, so I'm gonna go home. And she was just like, okay, so.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
That's perfectly reasonable.
Bad idea. Then I was by myself downtown. But anyway, so I leave, and I'm walking to the train station, and keep in mind what I was dressed in. It's Monday morning downtown. People are, like, being productive, going to work, wearing suits and ties and shit.
Yep.
So I'm, like, walking around, asking, like, do you know where Union Station is? And I, like, I look like I haven't showered. I'm dirty and tie-dyed, and those people have gone now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm like, probably people think I'm a vagrant.
Vagabond, yeah.
Right. Like, I'm just trying to hitch a ride to the next music festival. Yeah, so after a couple of
a wook.
So after a couple of crazy stares, finally somebody was like, yeah, it's right over there. So I, go that way, and I get on the train, and I sit next to this lady on the train. And you could tell she's, like, somewhat alarmed, of me sitting next to her. I probably look crazy. I probably stared at the wall a couple of times, I'm really tripping.
Sure.
So I tried to make conversation with the lady, and I think that made it worse, But anyway, so I'm on the train, and I'm trying to make conversation and make it not weird because in reality I'm probably freaking out, And so we get up to, 103rd and I was like, oh, thank God, I'm on.
Right.
So the train stops, and I get out, and I, like, get out of the train and turn around because I have to go the way that it's, the train is. So I'm waiting for it to pass, and the train drives by, and I'm just like, this isn't 103rd.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like, no. This is not what I know. So our parents were in New York at the time, right? So I called, but I didn't live at the house, So, like, I would just, like, call Dad when I needed help.
Yeah. Hey, can I come over for dinner tonight?
Yeah, right. So I called Dad, and I was like, hey, Dad, I think I got on the wrong train. And he was like, well, like, Dad, like, well, where are you?
Yeah,
and I was like, I'm by Julian High School. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm by Julian High School. And now, like, nowadays, this whole story wouldn't have happened because that's on 135th cents. It's far, but it's not that far.
Right.
So my dad freaks out, tells me that it's a bad area and that I need to get my ass home.
Right.
I was like, okay, that's not helpful, but I think I wasn't making much sense because I remember calling my dad thinking, like, this is maybe a bad idea.
Yeah.
Right. So I think I made the conversation very brief, didn't really ask for much help, just kind of guidance, and he gave me that guidance, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll call you when I'm home. Click,
Right.
So he just tells me, you got to get out of there. So I have nothing except a bag of weed, like a little baggie of weed in my backpack that I didn't smoke at all. So I was like, okay, so I'm gonna smoke some of this weed. It's gonna calm this whole thing down, and I'm gonna figure out how to get home right now. So I'm like, damn, I have no way to smoke the weed. I literally just have a bag and weed. So I walk up to this guy on the corner, and I'm like, who knows what he was doing? Yeah. But I walk up to this guy on the corner, and I was just like, hey, where's Kedzie? And he was like, Kedzie? That way. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks. And I, like, turn and start to walk, and he was like, you're going to Kedzie? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, no, you can't walk to Kedzie. And I was like, oh, okay.
No.
Now I'm like, where am I?
Right.
I can't even walk to the street. Then
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I'm trying to smoke. Do you know where I can find a blunt? I'll smoke with you. And he was like, yeah.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I follow him, And he takes me to the gas station. Well, we walk up to the gas station. Now, keep in mind, I'm not in the right state of mind. I'm just like I'm
for the ride.
in and out of it. You know what I mean? Like every once in a while, I'll like come back and be like, whoa, why am I doing this? This is bad. I need to go home. But, you know, so one of those moments was walking up to the gas station, and he was like, I was like, well, you know, he was like, stay here. I'm going in the gas station. And I was like, well, why would he even make me wait outside the gas station? That doesn't even make sense to me. Like, this is a setup. What's he? And I was like, I just told him I have nothing, well, you know, so I'm freaking out, but I'm trying to be cool. So he comes out and he's got a blunt. And I'm like, all right, he's cool.
Yeah, right. Step one. Yeah. Check.
So we cross the street, and as we cross the street, the bus pulls up, and a bunch of girls get out of the bus. Well, we're like a quarter up the block, and you could tell that he must know them, because when these girls get off of the bus, we just stop where we're at, and he like turns around and starts walking that way. So now I'm like, I don't know, I'm on like 102nd Street, somewhere past Vincennes, going east. And I don't know exactly where I'm at. So we're just walking, and then these, you know, he's talking to these girls, and I'm like, you know, I don't know, a quarter block up. And they look around, and they're like, who is that?
Yeah, right.
And he's like, oh, he's lost. We're going to smoke. And they were like, okay. So one of them like, comes up to me, and and she like links arms with me, and she's like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not doing good. And she's like, yeah, I see that. Are you lost? And I was like, yeah, I'm lost. I was at Lollapalooza. And she was like, okay, cool. So I like so this is something that's super foreign to me, obviously, growing up in Mount Greenwood. You know, it's like half police officers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, where are we going to smoke? And he's like, oh, just roll it up. And I was like, we're walking on a sidewalk, you know, like where are we going to smoke illegal weed?
Yeah,
know?
right.
And he's like, roll it up, man. And I'm like, okay. So now I distinctly remember, for some reason, me being like, okay, I definitely am anxious, because I couldn't do it. I was just like, you know, just like looked like a wet turd when I was done with it. Yeah, right. So I'm like, we like light it and smoke it. And I'm like, we go past this group of people, and there literally had to be like 60 people in the street, like just in the middle of the street. And it was like a movie when I walked by. Their heads like all like was synchronized. Them just watching me walk past.
Look, a ghost.
So I was like, this guy told me to call him E. I was like, E, they're all looking at me. He was like, you loud as hell. And he like points at all what I'm wearing. And I was like, okay, I'm loud as hell.
Yeah.
What do I do about that, you know?
How do I become less loud, E?
Right. So he's like, hold on. So he goes into the house, and he comes out, and he gives me this Machiavelli t-shirt and this pair of shoes. Now it's like a fresh, never worn pair of Jordans. I know nothing about Jordans at the time. I'm the most culturally ignorant person in the world at this time. I know Mount Greenwood and Beverly. That's it. And you know, I'm just like, you know, thinking like, okay, why would he do this? I don't get away alive with this. You know what I mean? Like, this is a $200 pair of Jordans. He's just gonna give them to, I don't know. No, thank you. So he was like, put the shirt on over your shirt. So I did. It was just a red shirt. You know, my shirt was multicolored tie-dye.
Sure.
So I put the shirt on. We walk around. I talked to that girl that linked arms with me for like a long time about really deep stuff, you know?
Yeah.
That I would never,
oh my God.
That I wouldn't talk to any of my best friends about.
Right.
And
you'll see her on the street one day and be like,
right. And we walk back to the street corner, and I was like, okay. And I was like, Kedsy's that way, right? And he was just like, yeah. And he was just like, come on, bro, I'm gonna put you on the bus. And I was like, what? And he was just like, yeah, hold on, wait right here, I'm gonna put you on the bus. And I was like, okay. So I wait there. The bus is coming. So I'm like sitting there freaking out for a little bit, but I'm like, this was like overall like an amazing experience. I mean, all things considered.
Yeah, right.
So the bus is pulling up. My anxiety is like almost gone at this point. I'm like, okay, I'm going home, you know. And somebody in a car driving by leans out the window and goes, yo, Matt. And I was like, what? Who? How? Like, what?
No
How
way.
do I know someone here? It's fair games. this dude that I went to high school with, and we were cool, like friends at school, you know, type thing. But he was just he U-turn.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
are you doing here?
Yeah,
and I was like,
bro.
I'm lost. And he was just like, man, you need to go home. And I was like, yeah, I know that, you know. And he was like, you're getting on this bus? And I said, yeah. He told me this bus will take me home. And he said, yeah, it will. And he must have knew the guy I was with because he gave him a ride somewhere. But since then, he is now like one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And he told me that guy I was walking around with was the snakiest dude around, and that there's no reason that he didn't just leave me in the gutter for $5.
That is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah. So that eliminated.
Gamo games, bro.
Yeah.
Coming in huge.
Yeah. I mean, just like, I don't know. Super, like, I mean, that's the most serendipitous shit ever. Like,
but you had not like hung out with Fair, like
No, never outside of school.
Is
and
that
like
what
said,
like?
we were super cool, and I think one thing that brought us close together was.
Can you adjust that again? I'm sorry, I'm keep bugging you about it.
Our friend Kirkland was shot and killed, and I was close with Kirkland because we were in band together, and he was close with Kirkland. And I think when Kirkland died, you know, that was like,
okay, yeah.
We kind of,
Damn.
yeah, we had that in common, I guess.
That is wild, bro. This dude, you have more like stories like that I'm just like, dude, how? What? I don't even know how to approach this. Like, what do you think puts you in these spots? Like, do you agree that you've had a wild go of it for the most part?
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Why?
I don't know. I think we were talking about a couple of days ago, my risk tolerance is probably much higher than it maybe should be or is in most people for sure. I don't know why that is. I think maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a medical expert by any means, but I think my ADD makes me thrill chasing. And I think I'm good at chasing.
Yeah, right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like normal shit is boring. Like I have a thing about not being bored. Like I can.
Right.
And if it's not my thing, it bores me usually.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know where that comes from. I think, like I said, I'm just willing to do some risky stuff that other people are not willing to do, and it has led to some pretty cool experiences. It's also led to,
Has that been like your
not so good shit?
Whenever I come across like a big, like I feel like a life moment,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I ask myself the same questions almost. Like basically my big one is like, are you going to regret not doing this, or are you going to regret doing, like, I don't want to have regrets. And I want to have, like, especially when it comes, like, having memories of doing things. I think people are, like, safe all the time. Like, that's super boring.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that, for me at least, I've, like, found people that are like-minded as far as that goes. Now, some of them are constantly in trouble because of it, like some really good people that are just always in trouble because, I don't know, they won't listen to the rules, or they just want a thrill. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that there's like you can find that in other people, And I don't necessarily think that it's just like.
Do you not like it?
What?
Do you like, would you change anything?
Oh, about myself?
Yeah, no. Like about like what you've done.
Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't agree with the fact that anyone says that they wouldn't change anything. I mean, like, you now have knowledge that you didn't have before. How can you say you wouldn't do it differently? That's just my opinion on that, I guess. Like, yeah,
I don't
change
think
a lot.
I don't think I'd change anything.
Well,
because honestly, the reason why is because I'm so focused on being okay with right now that if I were to think about changing things, it's like, why? Like,
oh, I don't dwell on it at all. But yeah, if I could go back, yes.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I would definitely whisper some things in my own ear, like, "Hey, you idiot!
Yeah,
Stop doing it.
Yeah.
This one turns out bad."
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's cool though. But dude, I texted you a while ago, and you're my big brother. It's like I've always had like I don't know how to explain it. It's like just like a thing. Like everyone with an older brother knows that like
Sure.
that's just like
Right.
that's what I am, or at least what I'm trying to be.
Sure.
And I've always felt like that. And when we were talking about, I texted you specifically when like all the Black Lives Matter like protests started, and I was like, dude, you've been woke as hell on this shit for a while. And I was like, dude,
Yeah.
and like with a lot of things too. Like I remember you were like convinced me to do a theater show when I was young, and it was like Willy Wonka, and you were Willy Wonka, bro. That was hot.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm
But that was all born out of that story.
out of what?
I was a Mount Greenwood raised kid. I mean, I don't think I was racist because I never got that. But I don't know. That's like, that was the consensus around the area that we lived in. You know what I mean? That like people of color are bad in some kind of sort of the way.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I was just taught that. And I think, if you want to go even further into it, I think that, you know, the news stations are constantly teaching you that. But anyway, so yeah, I think that I kind of learned that, and that situation for me was like, oh, like everything I was told that should have happened right now didn't.
Yeah.
And I have a friend who gave me his phone number and paid for me to go on the bus.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
It's just so yeah, I think that all came from that. And then because of the whole when Kirkland passed, he was Refair's producer and made his beats. And like I said, that kind of put us together, and I told Fair that I always wanted to do that. And then that's how our friendship was born. And I mean, me and Fair were making music for years. I mean, he's still doing it. I've kind of fallen back. I don't really have the space right now, but
You hope to get back into it?
I don't know. I have so much going on.
Who are like your music like influences? Like who, if you're producing a beat, who are you trying? Like, do you have like a, I want to be able to
it's
do something like that?
I usually will do stuff that's like hot now, you know. Like right now, I don't know, Take Heath is really hard. I like Figures. Metro Boomin is like a cliche answer.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I mean,
That's that white dude, right? Who's
Metro Boomin.
who's the white producer?
40.
He's on like, yes, Murder Beats.
Murder Beats. Yeah.
That's
40. I really like 40. There we go. If I had to pick an artist who I want to emulate his beats, it's 40. And I don't do it at all because I make like hype trappy shit. But 40's beats are so cool.
Dude, this used to be your studio before it was our
Yes.
studio. Oh my God.
Yes.
Matt was up here.
Yes, I was.
Oh my God.
Back
bro.
in the days.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
With those dumbass speakers, I did not need that shit.
The yellow ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, those were wild.
Yeah.
That shit was great, bro.
Yeah, that's dope. I brought all that shit from California.
California.
Yeah.
Are you moving from Chicago eventually?
Yeah, I have to. The taxes here are wild.
Really?
Yeah,
Where?
it's
Where are you
insane.
going? Cali?
Well, so I don't know. It kind of depends on Jacqueline, you know. Obviously Kylie is like a big thing. My
Mhm.
girlfriend and her daughter.
Yes. Shout out. Major.
Yeah, so I don't know, you know, what we'll do. I think another big thing is, and my current job, I sell car warranties. I don't think that's like an end-all be-all. That's not going to be my career, but it's extremely lucrative right now. And if they're going to allow us to work remote, then that might be sooner than later, because with the amount of money that I'm making, somewhere else will just be on dummy rather than just above average here in Chicago, you know.
What's ideal?
What is ideal? No internet sales tax, so I can do shoes.
Is that anywhere in the U.S.?
Yeah, Florida, Minnesota. I don't know. There are a couple of them. I think maybe New Hampshire.
What's your favorite place you've ever
Oregon.
vacationed to? Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon. Vacationed. I don't know. I loved California. I really liked Arizona when we
California.
went to Arizona.
Arizona was dope.
That's cool.
I think California is the move long
It's
term.
expensive too, though.
Hey, we're working on it.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking. So, I like really want to make this shoes thing a thing, and I feel like my potential for success in like a semi-large, medium-sized city rather than like a huge place would probably be better, because I can become the spot, you know?
Yeah.
No, obviously, there's no research into that, but that's just kind of my
Your
current,
inclination.
you know, I was thinking about Visalia, and there's, like, nothing really out there. That's where I lived in California. There's nothing really out there that's, you know, like that. And actually, crazy, Uncle David's, our father's Uncle David, the guy that runs his business started out with a record sneaker store.
Really?
And made a lot of money and sold the business and then went to work for Uncle David. And he went on tour with Kanye West. His little brother was the bear for a couple of concerts, actually.
The bear?
The bear, the Kanye West bear.
What do you mean? At a concert?
Yeah.
What? I don't know what that is.
Like, he would put on a bear. He would be the Kanye West bear.
Oh.
And, like, do, like, break dance on the stage.
Oh,
you know, in a bear
okay.
costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay, bro.
Yeah.
Gotta love him.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah. But actually, there was like a huge falling out. I mean, that was like a big thing. Bobby felt like he was super wronged by Ye. Yeah.
By Ye?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so him and his artist had done all of their graphic design and t-shirt production. Bobby and this graphic artist that worked with Bobby. And then I forget what happened, but then it went, like, they got real big, and then Kanye just switched over to another producer. So it was like, you know, they like helped him out and, you know, got him going and like put his stuff in their stores before he was anybody, and then he just kind of.
That's lame.
Yeah.
Ye doing Ye things though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wild. That's dope though.
Mm-hmm.
So what else is new? How are you ready for this bachelor party? No, we're not even. I don't even know if.
Yeah, we don't even know what's going on right now.
No, the corona is taking a shit on everyone's plans. Yeah. Are you wave 2 team or no?
What's wave 2?
Wave 2 of corona. It's coming. I think I'm team second wave.
Whether or not I think it's coming?
Yes.
I think it's here.
I agree.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, I'm not happy with that. I don't know. I think that this is all kind of overkill, but that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, obviously.
I really, really dislike having to wear a mask everywhere. And you know what? I forget it half the time and have to go back.
Yeah, I do. I do too. Yeah. Yeah, me too.
It's just really
yeah,
cool.
it's I don't know.
It's super weird how different areas have different it's just
For
we
real.
need to figure out what is going on, what is the facts, what needs to be done and doesn't need to be done, and do that. And rather than everyone just having their own set of rules. It's crazy.
Well, I went to Indiana to a cottage over the weekend. And like we were halfway there and stopped at a gas station. I'm like, dude, I can't go in. I don't have a mask. And like he's like,
yeah,
dude, we're in Indiana.
Right.
I'm like, this is so weird, bro.
Right.
Like if you're in Illinois and you don't go in a store with a mask, like you're getting screamed at by somebody.
Yeah.
But in like across the border,
right.
like 40 miles that way,
right?
They're like, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well.
Yep. Right.
Yikes. But
yeah, so I don't know. It's crazy. I understand that, and I was kind of talking to Jackie about this earlier, because Target, like, you know, the entrance is an exit, and it's just like, oh, like there's someone going 1, 2, 3 as people walk in the door. You know,
right.
They have all these kind of extra stuff that's going on, and I just think, like, you know, I was asking Jacqueline if she thinks that that's because Oak Lawn has been so strict with the whole thing and they're scared about Oak Lawn, or is that Target's policy everywhere? Because they can't be doing that in places that aren't doing all the other stuff, because they're going to freak everyone out, you know? So that can't be an across-the-board type thing, which is just crazy.
Yeah, you're right. There needs to be some sort of... Has the federal government given, like, guidelines other than, like, is social distancing?
That dude Fauci gets on the TV and tells you what he thinks. And then someone, like, discredits him and says that that's dumb, you know, on any given news station after that. It's crazy. It's crazy. We need to have a certain news source that can't be discredited as just factual.
Dude, where's the Surgeon General? That dude disappeared. I'm waiting to hear from the Surgeon General. I don't even know what his job is, but
Yeah.
no, he's like in charge of all the doctors, isn't he? He's like, I'm in charge of the health of the United States. Surgeon General.
Yeah.
Isn't that Fauci?
No, Fauci is just some random like
The head doctor.
disease expert.
And I think what's so messed up is that this is such a political football now. You know, it's like these guys are worried about how they're going to play it rather than what is the right way
Yes.
to go about it.
Right.
You know, so it's like, it's just ridiculous. I mean, too much stuff has become that way.
I don't trust it. I literally don't trust a single thing I see on the internet anymore.
You know,
like
you
nothing.
know what I want? I think that this would fix a lot of things, and maybe not everything, but a lot of things. But it's 2020. Why do we have to go do a polling place and fill out a thing and put it in the,
screaming this. No, I haven't.
There's
but,
no reason. You don't have to go anywhere.
bro. I don't have to. I was just telling you the other day. I have not physically seen my money ever.
Right.
Why can't I vote online if literally my entire life is located, the assets of my life, all my money is located online?
Because it would be too convenient, and they can't have that. Because then everyone would vote.
Well, and and then there's well, people's identity gets stolen all the time. And it's yeah, well, it does.
Yeah.
And that's why. Because it's not, I don't know.
It doesn't matter. It's all computerized anyway if it wants to be. There was thoughts that it was already compromised. So.
What?
The current system
Yeah,
that they have.
right.
So, I mean, there's no argument there. It might be compromised. Yeah.
How would they do it? How would they? I would honestly, ideally, when
United States government make an app, vote on everything. Boom, done.
I like that idea.
But I mean, that's a different government. That's not what we live in. That's not how it's set up.
I know.
The thing is that I think that, I mean, I guess I can't, suppose that I know what the people that wrote the Constitution thought, but I think that they were just trying to, give the power to the people enough so that, some people that are not maybe as intelligent as others weren't,
Yeah.
So
Every man created equal type thing.
No, I mean, they want, we live in a republic, right?
Yeah.
They want people at the helm to make sure that if the people's decision is not what they want, then, an ulterior decision is made.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the government that we live in. I mean, there's so many times where you can see that somebody has voted against their constituents. That shouldn't even be allowed.
What do you mean vote against her? Oh, they're
the people they represent.
Yeah, right. I know. That shit.
That is crazy.
Why are you there?
Yeah, right. Who's okay with this?
But that's how are they going to make any decision if who gets the data of what the constituents want? Because if that's good data, why not just use that, bro?
Well, because that's what I'm saying, because then their agendas wouldn't be followed through on.
I don't know. I really think it's an efficiency thing. People, if we were able to all make a decision, get a text on your phone, hey, do you want to raise taxes 10% to get universal health care? Yeah, beep. It'd be easy, but we need these schmucks to speak for us, I guess.
Yeah, well, there's no reason for it. It just hasn't been updated in however long.
Right. You should do it.
Oh, yeah. Let me just hit up.
LearnToCode.com.
I made them an app.
Yeah. Hey, I made the voting app.
Yeah. Hey, I made an app that's going to eliminate all your jobs.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then there's lobbying and all that. They can't do that, man.
Can't why?
That the hogs need to control everything.
No, I know, but they don't though. When is that not okay?
It's never okay.
But you're talking like you're okay with it.
No, that's just how it is. You can't change it. Except to get.
That's a form of being okay with it in my eyes.
No. I'm not going to waste my time. I need to become a hog. I'm not wasting my time trying to stop the other ones.
You're broken.
Well, whatever.
I don't like that. That's too.
What
That's
does that
too-
even mean?
Like you're like we're not all in this together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, because I don't know.
We're all in this together.
I think that I don't know about always, but more often than not, when someone moves ahead, it's because somebody else got, a bad deal.
What do you think about Jeff Bezos? We talked about this very briefly on
What about
Verified. Everyone thinks there's no reason he should be as rich as he is.
Well, yeah, because he's smart and he did it. That's why he should be as rich as he is.
Right.
You can do it too.
I know.
Everyone that complains about it can do it. They just won't, and then they'll complain about him.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, I can.
I mean, it's absurd the amount of money.
Yes,
absurd.
That's the only thing.
Sure.
It's like, dude, this dude, like, it's like proven that this dude, like, Jeff Bezos could spend $100 billion and solve world hunger. Like, oh really?
Yeah.
It's just like that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
He
I
just
mean,
buys all the world food from the world grocery store and feeds the world.
But I mean, it's like, I don't know, where does that end? So then, you get I don't know. If someone was making $500,000 a year, someone's going to say that that's too much money, So what's the right amount of money? What's the amount of money that you get when you've earned a ton of it? What is that amount?
Well,
There is none.
If we're living in a capitalist society, isn't it like you can't put a limit on it?
Yeah, right. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. I totally agree with that. I agree with the fact that he earned the money that he has, and it's his money, and he can do whatever he wants with it. I think he should do things to make the world a better place, but I don't think that he doesn't do that. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, I guess.
He's trying to go to space. What's it called? Blue Oracle or some shit?
Why?
Jeff?
What?
He's trying to like compete with SpaceX.
Why?
Because he can.
What is the goal?
Space? Dude, space is everything.
Yeah, what are they going to get from space? That's what I mean. Like, what's their...
We're moving
What's
out.
the motive?
Money is the motive.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What are they going to get? So they're residences? That's what they're going to go up and do?
Well, SpaceX is literally being hired by the U.S. government right now.
I understand that.
Which is just snaps to them for that.
Yes.
But, yeah, dude, I'm thinking we're going to have the potential to go to space before we die.
That's cool. Am I excited about that?
No. Do you think it's accurate? Have you not looked into this? Do you not know about
No, yeah, I
space,
think it's
bro?
accurate. I think that technology is moving at an absolutely mind-blowing rate. Think about the first iPhone. So that was in my senior year of high school. The first iPhone was it wasn't the first iPhone. It was the iPhone 3G came out when I was in high school. And I went and bought it. And I mean, just like... compared to what my phone can do today, it's like mind blowing. There wasn't any apps. There wasn't any.
Do you remember you had that thing with the stylus? What the fuck was that thing?
Yeah, Palm Pilot.
Yes. I thought that was the coolest thing actually ever.
Yeah.
I was like, this is some spy shit.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna play with it. Look, I can type.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, that's crazy. I mean, video games. Look at video games.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I saw like a video of Halo. The original Halo, and I laughed out loud. I was like, we were playing this and we're like, whoa, kill that grunt, dude.
Yeah, I mean, some of the like the VR stuff is just mind blowing.
Yes,
like
you were
just
saying that.
you're like in a different world. Shout out Carbon Reality on 131st and
we
LaGrange.
still gotta go there.
Yeah, that is so cool. Like, so you just go into this place and there's a bunch of different stations set up, and if you're with people that go there, you can play games together, and it's just crazy. You're in a different world, you know. Like a shooting game in a VR is just so awesome.
Dude, I can't believe you aren't a fan of Ready Player One.
No, I didn't like it at all.
That's wild to me.
I didn't like it at all.
Because I loved it.
I was very disappointed.
Well, Steven Spielberg, you better step your game up.
You know, I've been seeing like straight dud movies.
What was the last good movie you saw?
Oh, good one? I don't even know. It's been years since I went to the movies and liked the movie that I saw.
Did you see Avatar with us?
No.
Damn.
I'm trying to think of this scary movie that I saw. Midsummer.
Oh.
This is the weirdest movie ever. So weird. Like, I haven't been to a movie that made me uncomfortable in a long time. And I was so uncomfortable. Like, I just didn't know what to do. Like, I think everyone in the theater felt the same way. It just gets so weird at the end. Yeah. Yeah. I did leave, actually.
You left?
Yes, I left. I pulled a dad.
Oh,
yeah.
dude.
I did. Yeah.
I pulled a dad.
I did. You know, I did that earlier, too. I went into Bona Beef. They got rid of their chili cheese dogs.
Yeah.
And I just, like, was angry and pulled off. Didn't get any food.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
This place doesn't appreciate my
I
business
was
at
like,
all.
never mind. And I roll, you know, like the person that worked there cared about how angry I was. Like, damn, I'll better talk to the manager to make sure we get that chili back.
Yeah, right.
This guy that hasn't been here in 6 months really wanted that.
Yeah. Like, we're going to keep it on the menu if it gets ordered at all in the next 10 years. Yeah. Matt McClorey, we got chili for you.
Yeah, so that's definitely a dad thing, getting mad and leaving.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite movie?
Casino.
Really?
Yeah. Love that movie.
That's respectable.
Yeah.
Very respectable.
Goodfellas is close, but Casino is, yeah.
So just all crime films?
Yeah, that's really been my thing.
What, crime?
Yeah. No, you know, like, no lie, really thought that I would sell weed for probably, I don't know, 8 years of my life.
Yeah, well, you did.
I did.
So
I thought I would do that forever.
Yeah,
for
right.
a very long time. Yeah.
That is wild.
And it was ridiculous at the time, and people told me it was ridiculous, and now so not ridiculous. So ahead of my time,
Right.
so visionary of me to be
that's-
like, no, this is something that needs to be shared, and like people love it, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I knew that way before anyone else was saying. Well, I shouldn't say before anyone was saying it, because Prop 19. What was it? Prop 19 was in like 1993, I think, was when California had
Really?
medical ability. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I moved to California to do that.
I know.
I was going to do that.
What did you have? You had like a trailer with...
Yeah, so we bought a big trailer, and we set up, actually, you know, the huge black Tupperware with the yellow tops that we have in here, the storage containers?
Yeah, we have them.
We had, I think, 6 of those. So one at the end, one in the middle, and one at the other end. And PVC pipes, like PVC pipes about yay big, that would run, and then we cut holes in them, and we dumped. So I'm trying to explain, the medium that you grow this stuff in is like, looks like cocoa pebbles.
Right.
So it's like that terracotta, but it's in beads, right? So you fill net pots, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a little pot that looks like a net. And you put those pebbles in there, and then we would put those in each hole and have a recirculating pump at either end, and the water would just constantly go through.
And that's hydroponics?
Yeah.
How many plants did you have?
I think 46, if I remember correctly.
You think you could do that now? You think you could?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I have totally thought about just buying like an extremely inexpensive house and just doing what I needed it to do to have it grow.
And you can make, like, how, once those things are, flowering?
Mm-hmm.
It's like crazy production, right?
No, it depends on what, I mean, your genetics are super important. The nutrients that you give it are super important. The growing style and medium are super important. So
what is like the yield, though? Like weekly from a plant?
It
like,
depends. It's your lighting is really the dictator of your yield. So if you have 1,000 watt high pressure sodium light, that's like a red and orange rich light. 1,000 watts is obviously super, super bright light. You should get an expert grower, they say, will get 1 gram a watt.
1 gram a watt?
1 gram per watt.
Per how long?
Oh, well, it's like
it's just one
most
harvest?
of them are like, it depends on the strain. Most are around 56 days from seed to flower. No, I'm sorry. The flowering cycle is usually around 56 days on plants. So depending on how long you veg them. So when you grow the plants to a certain height and bushiness, and then you do certain things to kick on the flowering, so where it will grow bud. So you dictate how large your plant you want your plant to get, and then you flip the lighting situation, how many hours of light and darkness it gets. That will put it into flowering mode, and it will start to actually grow.
Damn.
The bud itself.
And the male and female plants need to be separate, right?
You can't have any males. I mean, so Sensimilla is, the good weed that most people smoke now. That's a weed, a crop of weed grown with no males. So males release pollen that will fertilize the bud, and it will create seeds. The seeds take away energy that's normally used, that would be used to create THC, and is used then to create a seed. So that's why you don't want seeds. The weed is better when there's no seeds in it. That's why you don't want any seeds.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's how you know you're getting good weed is no seeds.
Yeah. I mean, it's the
look.
The
of
like
it is,
best weed to the worst weed today is like mind blowing.
What do you
The
mean?
difference. You know what I mean?
Because the best weed is like super power shit.
Yeah, like 27%, 29%. I mean, the weight of the bud is 29% THC.
Just
That's
crystals.
mind blowing. Yeah.
That is mind blowing. That
Yeah.
thing's 30% rock.
Yeah,
bro.
right.
That is crazy. What? Okay. Yeah. Well, what is? Do you think Chicago's gonna like be like? So we were just talking a while ago about how like Chicago, the like shops here suck balls. When is that gonna change?
What do you mean by the shops?
Like the weed shops, the like.
Oh,
What's the one right here called? I forget.
I don't know. I don't know.
Because like in California, it's like, here you go, and then like, yeah, browse around, sir. And here it's like, yeah, come through this door. We're gonna pat you down and put you through a metal detector. It's like, whoa.
I don't know. So one of the big things that has prevented me from going into the industry is the licensing. I mean, I think I was looking at it. It's something like you have to apply. You have to enter a permit with a $10,000 non-refundable fee. So it's you gotta hope you get this thing and pay them $10,000, and then to get approved, you have to prove that you have $250,000 liquid.
Yeah.
So who qualifies for this anymore?
Right, yeah.
This room of people.
Pablo
over here.
Escobar?
Yeah, right. So I knew right off the bat that it was just going to be different because it wasn't letting the small guy in, and in California I saw that wasn't the case. And in California it became so popular. Granted, it had been 5 or 6 years by the time that more than that. It had been like almost 20 years between the time that weed was medicalized and the time that I was out there, so 20 years it took to get to where it was at. But what I saw was a lot of the mom and pops that might not be able to get these big licenses, and they were trying to limit the amount of dispensaries and whatnot, just they don't want them on every street corner and whatnot. The other people that wanted to create a business around this were doing like a hydroponic shop. There was like a grow shop that I was going to that had this, this dude Jason that just worked there, and he was just my guy for anything.
Yeah.
Like other, auxiliary. There was smoke shops where you would go
Building
and buy
an economy
pieces
around it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's fucked.
Yeah. So I think it will take time for it to get there. I also am really mystified by the fact that now it's totally legal here. Keep in mind, it wasn't legal in California when I was there. It was just medical. Now, their medical program was a joke. I told the doctor that my back hurt, but
They used to have billboards when I was in LA. Get your medical card here. It's like,
right.
I have night blindness.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's discouraging to me because what I'm really excited about is to be able to go into like a coffee shop or like a pot bar, if you will.
Yeah, in Amsterdam, they're called coffee shops.
Right,
yeah.
because I want to be able to do that. I think that's a cool socializing thing. And I think right now, like, unfortunately, people are kind of... I think the default is just to go to the bar when you want to be social, and
Yeah.
I think alcohol is a bad thing. And don't get me wrong, I drink and whatnot, but all in all, alcohol is probably bad news, and that can be completely avoided. And I think people would if they had another release.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, but the alcohol, like, I think alcohol is just whack. I can't even tell you the last time I was like super drunk, because it's just every time it's like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, why did I just do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, like, the physical aspect of like being hungover is like, this is so not worth it for me acting like a complete idiot the night before. Like,
and after a couple of drinks, my self-control is just almost non-existent.
Me too.
And what will be the icebreaker is if I'm with a close friend, it's over with.
Really?
Yeah, if I'm with somebody that I'm close with, that I'm enjoying my time with, and is going to egg me on, then see you tomorrow.
Easily egged on.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I don't know, with weed, there's none of those problems.
Right.
I never said, I got so high last night I did anything other than make a pizza or go to sleep.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I remember we were in the room together, and I don't remember exactly when I like found out that you smoked. Mm-hmm. But I was like literally terrified. I was like, dude, this dude's gonna die. Hold on.
Do you remember walking into the garage?
Oh, yes.
While I was smoking that huge bong.
The bong, yes. 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 Mom and Dad were out of town. I forgot what I was even doing.
You came in here to get something, or there was
or
like...
I knew you were out. I don't know.
Okay.
I was like, Matt's supposed to be home. He's not. Yeah, and I opened the garage, and you're like...
This thing's this big.
Yeah. I was coming home from Martyrs. I was in like 6th, 7th grade.
And I was like, I didn't know what to do, and I just yelled at him.
Yeah.
And I was like, get out! And he just looked at me like a deer in headlights and like closed the door. Yeah. Oh, God, I feel bad.
Oh, my God. I was
so
like,
funny.
They're smoking crack in there.
We learned about this in Dare.
Because there was like 4 or 5 people in there. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know when you're a little kid and you see some shit and you genuinely have no idea? You're like, what are they doing?
Sure, yeah.
That was me. I was like, oh, my God.
Well, so
it smells bad in here.
Yeah, that's so funny. Real quick, when I went to California, dabs was huge. I never heard of a dab in my life. I was like the biggest pothead around.
Yeah, right.
I never heard of a dab in my life. So we go there, and these people are at a party with a torch, in the corner, like lighting a needle, and I'm just like, whoa, these people party hard. I'm not trying to do that,
Right.
So I'm just at the beer pong table, and I miss, and I was like, oh, I'm tweaking, and somebody looks at me kind of weird and whatever, and so I go about my day, and I have come to say tweaking all the time now.
Yeah.
So I did it again, and somebody was just like, hey, look, out here, like, tweaking is when you're doing meth. Like, that's a term for doing meth.
For real?
Yeah. Oh, I was tweaking. Like, that means, like, you were high on methamphetamines.
Yeah, right.
So every time I miss a cup, I'd be like, damn, I'm tweaking. People would be
tweaking.
like, whoa, this dude can't hit a cup because he's mething out.
Yeah, right.
Stop messing around.
Oh, my God. Heisenberg.
Yeah, right.
That is wild.
And then I was like, oh, that's what they're doing in the corner over there? And they were laughing, and they were like, no, dude, we don't do that around here. They're taking a dab. And then they showed me.
Did you do it?
Yeah, you know what? It's so funny.
I've never done that. I don't.
After you dab, you can't really, weed won't do anything for you after you dab because your tolerance will increase so much. So I was like the only one out there that would smoke a flower when I was hanging around with my friends because they had been dabbing for so long that it's like, it's really after you're dabbing frequently, it's like smoking a cigarette. It like doesn't do anything to you.
Oh, my God. Yeah. That is
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to wrap this up. This is do you have any plugs? What's your shoe flip Instagram? I forget.
Oh yeah, soul_authority.
Yes, soul_authority. Go follow that.
Yeah, go check me out.
And we're gonna be flipping some shoes, making some vids. But thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
This
Thank you
has
for
been
having
awesome.
me. It's been real.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys.